Good afternoon. I'm Elaine Manzer, the Mayor of the Town of Peace River, and I'm here to bring you an update on our latest council meeting, which happened on May 12th. We had several items again. So the first one was, again, the procedural bylaw, which is an update to our present procedural bylaw, and it will incorporate our Governance and Priorities Committee meeting bylaw into it as well. So we'll have one bylaw for the two. Basically, legislative changes through the Municipal Government Act have indicated that we need to do some changes in our procedural bylaw, as well as just some general updates from the last time. So we passed first reading of that bylaw, and it'll be coming up in future council meetings to go through second and third readings, hopefully. There were two items brought forward on the organizational structure plan for the town, and basically admin asked to add two positions. The first was converting a casual customer service rep to a full-time position, and this is under the Corporate Services Department. It will allow the front desk in the town area basically to be staffed more full-time by the same person, and it alleviates some of the financial services staff from doing some of that added work as well. Second item that changed the structural or the organizational plan was adding one additional permanent community peace officer to our protective services department. At the moment, we have a director and one CPO, so this will add a third position. And basically, it's in reaction to what's going on in the town in terms of safety, vandalism, and that sort of thing. So this, the addition of this third person to that department will allow the staff to be out and about for 7 days a week in 10-hour shifts. So the shifts will change, so they're not always the same 10-hour shift. And we hope that that will help some of the safety concerns and whatnot, particularly in the downtown areas, but really all over town. So those two changes will be going forward. And then, as you probably know, some of you might have already participated in our land use bylaw refresh. Well, our manager of Planning and Development, Alicia Modi, brought us the What We Heard report from the public input process. And basically, most of the items that were highlighted in that were the majority voted quite favorably in making those changes. So there's a lot of changes with respect to when you need a development permit or not, things about fencing, that sort of thing. But there were three items that the majority were in favor of, but maybe a little less in favor of than some of the other items. One had to do with landscaping, in particular a requirement to have one tree planted in new residential lots, as well as in some commercial and other lots. So some discussion back and forth about that, if that was appropriate or whatever. We had the part about recreational vehicles being parked in residential parts of town, basically where they should be parked, how many should be parked there. So that is an item that's still under discussion, and it brought some questions up in the public survey. And the third item that brought some questions forth was about storage containers. So in particular, the downtown area is two storage containers of some sort too many. Should it be different or what? And that's still under discussion in both the downtown areas and other areas of town. We also directed the town to bring a manufactured home community bylaw to us, and this is for the assessment of designated manufactured homes in the town of Peace River. So this is brought forward basically because it's hard to collect taxes from some manufactured home owners, because manufactured homes are considered more like vehicles rather than like houses. So they're not registered with land titles, and therefore the processes to collect taxes are different. And so we're finding that within the town of Peace River right now, there's about $19,000 that's outstanding on taxes from manufactured homes. So we have directed administration to bring this back to us with some thoughts as to how we can, lessen the outstanding taxes and at the same time not bring more of a burden also to our staff. So we hope that we can streamline that a wee bit. Another director, Tanya Bell from Community Services, brought forth a briefing note on a new group that's forming in town called the Arboro Revitalization Society. And this is a group that wants to update the Arboretum in the north end of town. And it's a very nice place. It's the one that Rotaract used this fall or this winter for their skateway. And so the same group wants to basically update it. There's some actually in this new group that are from the original group that put the Arboretum into effect. And so they want to both update it, they want to do some painting, they want to do some forestry education, and they also would like to install electricity to the area. So the town has given them permission to, look into that, and we'll see what happens. But they are agreeing to look after the costs for the capital costs of that power installation. The town still would continue to look after the water and the grass cutting for that area. So the town and the group will have a memorandum of understanding so that, both groups can understand their responsibilities and who has authority to do what, that sort of thing. We had very good news from a report from Sam Mugford, our Director of Corporate Services. So he presented us with a overview of the 2021 to 2024 financial state of the town of Peace River. And it's quite good news. We've gone from a net financial debt of 21 million down to 5 million. We've gone from a long-term debt situation of 25 million down to 21 million. And on the other hand, surpluses have gone from 4.5 million to about 19 million. Reasons for this include several things. One, just catching up with some of the accounting and financial processes. We have a grant tracking that we're getting pretty consistent and good at doing. So when money comes in and is spent, that's recorded properly and quite efficiently. We've had certain other financial processes. Our tangible capital assets plan has also affected this. So just generally, very good news for the town, and we hope it can continue moving in this direction. And at the same time, I should mention one of the other things that affected this was Peace River, along with Nampa and Northern Sunrise County, are part of the Peace Waste Management Corporation. We, a couple of years ago at least, everybody in town got an extra bill for part of the services provided by the waste management when the oil was down. So that waste management company had to figure out how to best still be able to operate, and they needed income. So they went to their partners, and Peace River being one of those partners, we had to pay to help the operations of that facility. However, it's now changed. They're in a good financial position, and so that also went into the good news about Peace River's 3-year financial change in that time frame. We directed the admin to put a submission together, like a letter, to the Impact Assessment Agency of Canada, known as IAC. And this was the one where we had 30 days, so until May 14th, to put an initial submission into what we think, what we have questions about, concerns about with the proposed nuclear plant north of Peace River. So those are all on the IAC site, and people will be able to go there and look at not only our submission, but the submission from the group of 5 municipalities that have formed a committee to look into this nuclear situation, and other individuals, whoever. Anyways, it's kind of an interesting site to look at, and we have submitted on behalf of Peace River, concerns about infrastructure, recreation, health care, emergency services, transportation, all those sorts of things. So we want them to be out there in the forefront so that they're looked at by the company Energy Alberta and IAC, because they will have long-term implications for our community. And, we're concerned about paying for some of these things when we won't have necessarily the income at the same time before we need these services. lots of people probably are interested in the spring cleanup. So from the 24th to the 26th of May, you can put items out on the curb and people can drive by and pick them up for free if they so choose, or leave them there for the next till the 30th, and the trucks will start to come around on the 26th and or the 27th, pardon me, and they will, collect the items, but be aware that different trucks collect different items, so leave them out there until the 30th, and hopefully look at our website to see what you can put out there and how contained an area it should be in as well. So, helps to declutter. We have a couple of weeks of celebration coming up as well. The third week of May is the Alberta Disability Services for Professionals Appreciation Week. So, thank those who work with the disabled in our community and otherwise. Then on May 12th to 18th, we have celebration of nurses, Nursing Week. So again, do a lot of service in our hospitals. Quite frankly, sometimes have to put up with a lot of things. So please thank them, buy them a coffee, something like that. And the last week of May will be our rural healthcare rural healthcare workers celebration. And our healthcare attraction and retention committee will be putting on a barbecue at the hospital for workers at the hospital, the clinic, long-term care, that sort of thing. And we hope to thank them for their service and keep them happy and keep them in our community.